If I go like that, can you hear me?
Yay!
We know how our equipment works.
Yeah, we've only had it for 4 years. Close to 4 years.
Jesus Christ!
Happy 4-year anniversary!
Happy 4-year anniversary!
I don't even think we hit 100 episodes yet either, so.
I know.
I feel like we need to do something special for, like, I don't know, like, if you do something special for anniversaries or, like, episodes. I feel like episodes more than anniversaries.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my lovely co-host.
Okay, Lily.
About to get off your phone. We're recording.
I just wanted to see if I had any messages, and it turns out nothing.
I was like, we could have done that before.
They just told me there was some motion on my front door, so.
What? Okay.
That's it. I think I get one of those Ring cameras.
All right.
You know the Ring cameras?
Like for your front door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, we're back. It's been too long.
It's been too long.
I feel like the last time we recorded, it had been months, and this time I saw you like 5 days ago.
Yeah, I know. We saw each other twice in 1 week. It's a good day.
It is a good day.
Good time.
Good times. We're still watching Pushing Daisies.
Yes, we are.
We are technically halfway through the first season.
Weird. Yeah, we haven't even watched it for long, and yet here we are.
Yeah. We're talking about Season 1, Episode 5, Girth, and Season 1, Episode 6, Bitches.
Bitches. There's girth and bitches, and both those things sound far more sexual than they actually were. So
yes.
I'm fortunate.
All right, so we're going to start off, talk about Episode 5.
Girth.
So, happy Halloween.
It's the Halloween episode. This was exciting. I enjoyed this.
It was a kind of Halloween.
It's Halloween set.
I mean, they talk about ghosts, but like in reality, there's a lot of dead coming back to life.
Which is just like, the show. So
yeah. But we start in the past, like we always do.
Yeah.
We're at the Longborough School for Boys, where Ned's at, because his father just, plopped him there.
He got dumped.
And
it's very traumatizing.
We see the boys, and they're like gathering to get mail from the mail lady, mail mistress.
Yes.
And he never gets any.
No.
Ned never gets any mail.
He does not hear anything from his family.
Yes. Well, I mean, what other family? We never know, like, if he has like an extended family.
Yeah.
And his mom's dead, so it's just his dad.
So just as far as we know.
Well, I mean, we find out he does have some extended family.
Sort of.
So on Halloween, he gets a letter.
Yay!
Although it's kind of a postcard.
Yo.
It's a.
Then one day before All Hallows Eve, she gave him the nod.
I love saying All Hallows Eve.
It was hard to believe. He was stunned to be summoned. Guess what he'd been given?
What kind of letdown is this going to be?
Oh.
Or masks of dead risen. But the thing was more frightening than a demon winged or hooved. A pre-printed card from his father. We've moved.
Oh. Oh no.
Like pre-made postcard.
Oh.
It just says we moved, so his dad moved.
Oh, moved to a new place.
Moved to a new place. Apparently not that far from his old place.
Yeah, don't think about it.
Don't think about it.
Distance is very relative.
So then Ned sneaks out of the school with Digby, and he gets a sheet, and then he dresses up as a ghost.
And
finds the location of the house, and turns out that his dad's there with a new wife and kids.
He's got a new family.
His father's new address was the place that he sought. A home to come home to. In his throat, his heart.
Yikes.
But what
I was going to say, look at the age of the kids.
Scared him for life. His father with 2 brand new sons and a brand new wife.
Oh.
A hug was what he wanted, a wink and a quick the joke's on you. But what he got instead was a honeycomb chew.
Happy Halloween.
If you look at the age of the kids, they're definitely younger than Ned, but they're not that much younger.
They wouldn't be his biological children. They wouldn't be his biological children.
Or...
How does that work mathematically?
Think about it, it's more depressing than it might actually be.
Okay.
He had a second family.
Oh. That'd be fun.
I don't know if that's like, it's not like a spoiler, it's not a spoiler, but like...
Is that what happened?
It is what happened.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
You didn't?
I just think he just scooped up a young lady with a couple of kids. Oh.
No.
Well, that gets even more depressing.
It did, didn't it?
Depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, I mean... We'll get into them, but like it's not that's not really like a spoiler. I think you're supposed to.
So, well, apparently I was not bright enough to figure that out on my own.
Yeah, but the boys they're twin boys, and he just says that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, second family.
Woo!
Aw.
Traumatizing. That's very traumatizing to a child.
Yeah, but
especially with abandonment issues.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, because like, when I saw them, like, oh, and, like, he had the family for a while, because, like, they only, like, the kids only, like, a couple years younger than Ned.
Yeah.
So, and then, but they come out to go trick-or-treating, and the dad sees Ned, but, like, doesn't know that it's Ned.
Just thinks it's a random kid.
And just gives him a piece of honeycomb chew.
Yeah.
And says, Happy Halloween, and walks away. So he's traumatized.
I could go for a honeycomb chew.
What is that?
I don't know, but it sounds tasty.
It sounds like...
But it also tastes like... It sounds like... Kind of tastes like cardboard, like, a little bit.
You know what I'm kind of... Maybe, like, Butterfinger?
Maybe. Like, that kind of, like, has, like kind of wafery, but has, like a stickiness to it.
Yeah, like, I have mixed feelings with Butterfingers. Like, sometimes they're good, but it's also, like, kind of toffee, which I don't like toffee.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that sucked. And then he went back to his old house and just, cried probably.
Yeah. Yeah, he went back to... Yeah, he, like, went back to the abandoned old place and just, like...
We learned, it's, like, super abandoned, but it was a nice house.
Very nice house. It's a shame it didn't sell well.
Like, I know, like, somebody died in there, but, like...
Yeah, even then, you can still sell a house.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the present.
Mm-hmm.
We see a farrier named Lucas Shoemaker
He makes shoes.
for horses.
Yeah, so the name is very fitting.
And he's working, and I guess he's drinking, but we learned something later that, like, he was on the wagon, so I don't know if he was, like, maybe he fell off. I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, but so he's making some horseshoes, and then a horse comes in, and it's spitting fire, and then it tramples him.
Yeah, it's like super. This is like the most Halloween we get, right? It's
pretty
like,
much
this imagery conjured. It's very reminiscent of the Headless Horseman, but it's very clear that the person riding the horse does have a head. Yeah. And then but it is like very cloaked in a very like spooky. Ooh. Yes, definitely looks like a scary costume. But the fire is funny because the fire is never explained.
Never explained.
That's the funniest darn part. It's like it's just meant to conjure up the imagery of like a ghost. But we don't actually ever know why fire, because I guess there's relevance in it, but it's funny to me how it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna throw in some fire for fun effect.
For fun effect.
Off with their head. Oh. Well, that's exciting.
There's a lot of stuff that, like, you could think about to take apart this show, like that. The fact that, like, all these murders are within like a 20 to 30 mile radius of each other.
Yeah. A lot of people getting murdered around these parts. Maybe that's why the house never sold. They're like, the neighborhood is great.
Well, we don't even know how far.
Somehow people keep dying.
We don't even know how far, like, Paving County, which is where the pie hole is, to Coeur d'Alene is.
I thought they said 14 miles in the next episode.
No, that's a different place.
That's a different place.
That's a different place. That's 14 miles away.
Okay.
So, like, if you want to think of, like, distance between stuff, don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Yes, everything is very... It's so fascinating in this show how, like, everything does have almost a storybook feel to it, in that a lot of things are just relative.
I think, like, Brian Fuller said, like, it's kind of a fairy tale, so it's like...
Yeah.
Don't think... Yeah, it's fine.
Exactly.
Anyway, to the pie hole.
Pie hole.
We still don't have pie, guys.
Oh, I want pie so bad after watching this. I just want the pie.
I kind of want candy because it's Halloween.
Can we have that too? Do you have candy at least in your house?
No. Listen, we're going to do a special Halloween thing, and because you are the heathen that you are, I will buy you some candy corn.
Thanks.
That's not even...
Somebody's got to eat it, which means somebody's got to enjoy it, and that's me.
I like the pumpkin-shaped ones.
The pumpkin ones are good too.
But you like the normal one, which is...
Yes.
You're a heathen. Because of that, you don't remember Hocus Pocus.
Listen, you just keep calling me out in our show.
Special Halloween special, guys. We're going to watch
fun stuff.
Anyway, so Chuck's decorating for Halloween because she loves Halloween.
Yeah,
I like Halloween.
Halloween It's fun. Like, and I'm kind of bummed because this year was supposed to be the year of Halloween.
Right, because it's on Saturday.
Saturday, full moon, like peak spooky. Like we're just going full spooks, full spooky. This year.
It is spooky because we're in a pandemic.
The pandemic, yeah. But then we went from like the fun scary to the actual like existential scary. Not sure how I'm feeling about that, but I will not be going to any large Halloween parties. Absolutely not. Do you think I'm going? No. Do I trust people? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyway,
I would just say we'll do our special then, but I kind of want it out for Halloween.
Okay.
So we won't, but we'll do Halloween.
We have time for that.
I mean, I guess because, like, I don't go to Halloween parties. I don't, like, dress up.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I like the idea of Halloween.
Yeah.
And I like candy.
When did I last go to Halloween? I don't usually go to Halloween parties either, but I was invited to one. Was that 2 years ago now? Yeah, it would have been.
I think I went to a couple.
Damn.
I went to one in college, which was fine. And I, like, went last minute, so I didn't really have a costume. Yeah. Although, I just remember the story of, like, you saw, like, some trick-or-treaters, and they were dressed up as Dipper, Maple, and Wendy.
Oh, yeah. Was that last year?
Yeah, you texted.
That was so good. One of my favorite things to do is just give out the candy because, like, when I know, like, because there's always those nerdy kids that go out and they're not dressed as a normal thing. They're definitely dressed, like, in, like, cosplay level and nobody knows what they are. And then when I recognize them, I make their day. So, like, that's what I like about Halloween. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? I dressed up in my Wirt cosplay. And then there was a kid who was also dressed up in their own handmade Wirt costume from over the garden wall. And it was good. We had a moment. It was really good. I have a picture of it, which I probably won't show because kids protect their identity.
That's true.
But that's one thing I really like about Halloween.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies.
So Chuck's like decorating the pile, and Olive's like, Ned doesn't like Halloween. We saw why. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. So she's saying that, and then also kind of alluding to the fact that like she knows that Chuck faked her death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like sure that's what happened.
Seriously, you're so dead.
So, I guess you delivered some pies to my aunts.
Yeah, they're sweet. Probably be a lot sweeter if they didn't think you were murdered.
Did you tell them I was alive?
Kind of think that might make their little heads explode. What was that rhyme? I scream, you scream, we all scream because you faked your death.
You think I faked my death?
That's what I just sang. Unless you have a better explanation.
Wow.
The fact that the truth was...
And at least like to like Vivian, like that's what she's assuming, and Chuck's kind of like worried that like Olive's gonna tell them, and it's like she hasn't because she doesn't want to hurt their Lily Vivian.
She doesn't want their heads to explode.
Yeah,
like, literally,
like feathers.
Chuck imagined where Olive might be.
Ladies, I love your tea, and your house is so cute. Oh, by the way, Chuck's alive.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
The feathers were a good effect.
Yeah, so Olive thinks that Chuck faked her death, and I like the line where she's like, unless you have a better explanation, and we're like, I mean...
We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like she threatens to tell Ned, which like I'm wondering, like, wouldn't Ned know?
Ned should know anyway, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah. Unless like she just like popped by and was like, well, no, because then why would? Because she saw the news.
Yeah.
So he would know.
So yeah, that's a weird.
I guess like
that's like unnecessary added like.
But she also is in love. But Olive's in love with Ned, so she's kind of like.
So she's trying to find anything she can hold over him, probably. But yeah, that's weird.
That was, I think, I kind of agree that was a weird thing, but I think it's also like, let's hold anything on this woman who took my man.
Right. That's
so.
Yeah.
But then Ned pops in, sees all the decorations, and it's the first kind of, like, you could tell, like, he's so traumatized.
He's very traumatized by it. He's very upset.
Lee Pace is really good at face acting.
Olive, Chuck?
If one thing scared the Time Maker, it was that the secret of Charlotte
Spooky.
would get out.
He's fine.
The spookiest thing of all is
different.
childhood trauma.
This much. Or at all.
Yeah, I'll have him down in a jiffy. Chuck just had her head up her...
No, it's okay. Leave him up. Probably good for business. I mean... Thanks, Chuck.
Oh, he is. These past 2 episodes, especially this episode, like I did want to say like Lee Pace was like, damn, so good, because he's really good at like really subtly portraying like really strong emotion.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so he's like clearly upset, but then sees that Chuck did it, so he's like, okay.
He's like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But then Olive's all happy because, like, hey, I have an upper leg on this woman who I don't like. Mm-hmm. Hooray. Let's jump on the bed. But then she finds out that Lucas Shoemaker was trampled by a horse. And that the police are thinking it's an accident because he worked in the stables. Mm-hmm. So why not? Also, Kitten's on parade.
A sad ending for local blacksmith Lucas Shoemaker.
Jiminy Christmas!
Who was trampled to death late yesterday while working at Manchester Downs. Police have agreed that the death was unusual, considering the victim's experience with horses, but they say they do not suspect any foul play at this time. In other news, Kitten's on parade.
I want to see the kitten parade.
No, it's a murder show.
Oh, Kitten's on parade, which we never get to see.
We don't.
Sad.
Yeah. Wasn't it like the dog parade that you sent me pictures of?
Dog parade. Did I send you pictures of a dog parade?
I don't know. There was like a bunch of big dogs, and it was for a thing, and I didn't get it.
Yes, the thing. It was the Newfie Day at the tree farm.
Okay.
Yes, there's a Christmas tree farm that I like, and every year they have a Newfoundland Day where people from all over bring their Newfies, and it's glorious. It's so good. It's so good. Just imagine just being surrounded by a bunch of Newfoundlands. It's life. It can't get better than this.
We'll get to dogs later.
Okay, we'll get to dogs later. Hold up on those Newfies.
But so then Olive's clearly distraught. Mm-hmm. And then we see her at like I guess like a place with safes, and she pulls out a giant trophy, and then like an actual money bag.
An actual money bag
with like this like from cartoons, except it's real.
Opened another. As she
you have questions?
A secret flooded over her as sharp and horrible as the day she had sealed it in.
Which, basically, a great way to summarize this show. Like a cartoon, but it's real. Like, that's a really good way of describing it.
Oh, why didn't the show last longer than it did?
Do you know what was really funny recently? It was like, this was like trend. It was Pushing Daisies was trending on Twitter because people were talking about shows that they want to see brought back because they're canceled too soon. So
Pushing Daisies has always been pretty up there because it's so good.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, enjoying it.
And Olive goes, well, I love like Emerson's like eating his pie, and then he's like, check please, and then Olive just like drops some cash, and he's just like, or cash is good.
Yeah.
But Olive wants to hire him to solve the murder of Lucas Shoemaker, and we learn something about Olive.
Check please. Or cash. Cash is good.
I want to hire you. Technically, I already have, since you were so grabby with the cash.
Think of it as an escrow between my thighs. What's the case?
Yesterday, a farrier named Lucas Shoemaker was found dead. Trampled.
Why should I care about a dude that sells fur coats?
Not a furrier. A farrier. Error.
Farrier?
It's a blacksmith. Puts shoes on horses.
Don't try to act like that's a word everybody knows.
Yes.
She used to be a horse jockey.
It's so good.
They're saying his death was a accident.
You got reason to think otherwise?
I might.
Was Farrier a friend of yours?
We used to work together.
You ever put shoes on all of you?
Wasn't like that. We were competitors.
What'd you compete about?
Promise you won't laugh.
No.
I used to be a professional horse jockey.
Wait. She said not to laugh.
That's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I think they said like how long she was. It was like somewhere around like 8 years and X amount of months and days and seconds, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we find out, and she was actually a pretty good like horse jockey.
Yeah.
And like well respected.
Yeah, she was the real deal.
Yeah, and like won races and stuff in some bad green screen.
Oh my god, it's the comical use of green screen in this episode is really fun. Also next episode too, a lot of parts.
I keep like
really, there's parts of the show where it's like it's just the time where they don't want you to know it's green screen, and then it's green screen because you can see. I think it was in the next episode. No, it was in this episode where you could see like the keying in Kristen Chenoweth's hair.
Yeah.
But then there's times where they just like go over the top and it's like super obvious. They're using like stock footage in the background and stuff, which is fun. I think that's really funny.
I keep like questioning questioning like the budget sometimes because I'm like, they do really good with like the makeup, and then like sometimes their like special effects aren't great, but I'm also like, well, TV budget. I don't know. Right. I think they just like they know what they were to put their budget at, which is good, which is fine.
Right. Yeah. And again, I think it's a TV budget plus kind of the times.
Yeah.
I feel like TV shows didn't, especially like pre like 2010, did not have like great budgets.
That's
because
fair.
TV was still pretty regarded as like a lower form of entertainment to movies. But now like, you know, we're post Game of Thrones era, so that's changed.
Yeah. So Emerson takes the case because, you know, we got money. Although I did like the scene where like it was a thing of like Olive said like, promise not to laugh when I tell you that I'm a horse jockey, and he's like, no. And then she tells him, and then you start to laugh.
I start laughing. Yeah,
and then he starts to laugh.
That was really funny.
But anyway, to the morgue.
Woo!
Yeah, that's the thing about saying, like, we're not sure about distance, because they all go to the same morgue.
Mm-hmm. Right. And with the same guy working there.
Oh, morgue guy.
Love the morgue guy.
So they interrogate Lucas Shoemaker. They bring him back to life, and he's clearly got, like, a hoof.
Right in his face.
Right in his face. And, like, he spits out a tooth, and he can't really talk.
Mm-hmm.
This may seem like asking the obvious, but were you trampled by a horse?
Yeah.
Did they put a bomb in your daybed?
No, bomb of a came in.
John Joseph Jacobs killed you?
How can you understand him?
I was in full orthodontic headgear every 3 years.
When?
Puberty.
Well, you always had nice teeth.
My aunts told me it was a form of birth control. Yeah, it did suck.
Chuck can understand it because she had a full-on headgear during puberty because it's apparently a form of birth control.
I mean, kind of.
Look, 13-year-olds are cruel.
It's tough being 13.
But anyway, so Lucas Shoemaker says that the ghost of John Joseph Jacobs killed him.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
That's what I keep thinking.
His name is my name.
They said that's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Oh, damn it.
That's like every time I hear that thing, I just have that tune play in my head.
I mean, the whole episode, I'm like,
Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. So we're thinking the ghost did it because John Joseph Jacobs, who's also a jockey,
yes.
they were all jockeys. He died 7 years ago in like a racing accident.
Yes.
Which like
at the Jock Off.
At the Jock Off 2000.
I love it. That got me.
I guess like for the longest time, like the way like they show it, I was wondering like how would that kill him, but then I'm like, well, if you're going at a fast speed,
do you know how much a horse weighs?
A lot.
More than a person. Imagine one of those stepping on you. You did.
But you know what I'm kind of wondering, because they just said he fell off his horse.
Yeah.
So like, did the horse die, or did they kill the horse? Because
no.
No.
No, it was the whole thing. The thing that was keeping him in his horse.
Yeah, but how would the horse die from that?
Well, maybe with the shift in weight, the horse would like, whoa.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't really think
I know nothing about horse scene.
Me neither.
I've been to
a
horse racetrack.
Basically, yeah, so we'll get to like the full thing of it, but basically, during the Jock Off 2000.
Jock Off 2000!
Something happened with John Joseph's Girth, and then he fell off and died.
For 3 years, 4 months, and 26 days, John Joseph Jacobs had been the golden boy of horse racing.
Yay!
Win after win on the world circuit earned him grander trophies and greater purses, until he was a sure bet to become the greatest jockey of all time. His chance to prove this came in the race of the century, pitting the champions of the day against each other. But as he was about to win the Jock Off 2000, John Joseph Jacobs suddenly found himself unseated.
And his ghost is back to kill everybody.
To kill those who got ahead of him, basically. Because he was supposed to be in first, but then he ended up in, like, not first.
Yes, because John Joseph Jacobs was the best. And Olive actually got first.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Yes, that's where all that money came from.
Yes. So then Olive basically, Emerson tells Olive like what they found out, and says that I know a couple jockeys. There's a bar that we can go to. And Emerson mentions John Joseph, and she faints.
Name John Joseph Jacobs mean anything to you?
Why?
Someone said they saw his ghost.
It was plain that the name John Joseph Jacobs meant everything to Olive Snook.
That name means everything to her.
So we know that name's it, so we know she knows this, so.
She in the know.
Yeah. And so they decide that they're going to have to look at the stables and they're going to go to the bar to meet these jockeys.
Mm-hmm.
Ned is kind of like, doesn't want to be around people today. He's still...
He's processing some trauma.
And Chuck's kind of upset because, like, hey, like, we're partners.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can share the burden together. And he's just like, no.
Yeah, like, Ned definitely prefers to just do things.
He's very emotionally closed off.
Yes.
And, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, there's that. So, Ned's basically not going to go to the... He said he was going to go to the stables and search it out. And then he says, like, I'm probably not going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because he's got to deal with his daddy issues.
Yeah, he got daddy issues.
So then Chuck's going to the stables.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emerson and Olive are going to go to the bar. So let's go to the bar.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, no, we're not going to the bar.
Oh.
You don't drink that much.
I don't drink that much.
So we go to the bar and we meet the bartender named Pinky McCoy. And then there's also another jockey named Gordon McSmalls. I think we only got his first name, so, you know. Yeah, so we find out that we mentioned about the death, and that's... So we start off at the bar. So Emerson kind of thinks, like, well, a lot of people might have wanted you guys dead because of horse betting.
Right.
But they're like, why 7 years? Mm-hmm. Then we meet Pinky, and, like, we think he might be a racist.
Never should have won.
You need another drink. Barkeep.
Hey, listen, King Kong, I already told you can finish your beer and go. We don't want your kind in here.
Hey!
Oh.
Take a breath, big fella. I'm merely referring to the sign behind the bar.
Damn it, Pinky McCoy. I'm trying to save your life. Will you just calm down? PI's here about chewing. Just wants to ask you some questions.
What a bait and switch that was.
Yeah, he's a hiatus?
Oh yeah, it's there's a really kind of really interesting bait and switch there, where
like
he says some stuff that can definitely be interpreted as like super racist, but
he's a hiatus.
It's funny because there's a sign and it's about height. There's no tall people allowed. Not that, and that's it. It's just about tall.
It's just about that Emerson's tall.
Yeah, which is really funny. How tall is that actor?
I think it's like 6 foot.
He's gotta be taller, right? Because Lee Pace is like 6'6", and like
probably. I mean, like around like 6 foot something.
He like stands like right. Yeah, like right next to him. He's like 6'4". That's a tall dude. That's a tall dude.
But I was wondering also, like, with jockeys, you have to be short, right?
Oh yeah.
It's better to be short to be a jockey.
Yeah, all jockeys are like super short.
Yeah. Again, Kristen China was short, so
that's why I was laughing so hard, because she's like, I was a jockey, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. It's funny because she's short. Anyway, does that make me a bad person? That's a genuine question. Is this gonna be funny because I'm laughing about short people?
It's like that Randy Newman song.
Short people got nobody.
How would that even
short people
become popular? How does that song become popular? It's kind of offensive.
That's the point. It's supposed to be.
Oh, it is? I don't know.
That's the point.
Listen, I don't listen to much Randy Newman. I listen to that one Toy Story song and that's it.
That's fair. Pushing Daisies.
But, so we meet Pinky and Gordon. Gordon's a drunk.
Yeah.
And I guess Pinky's kind of a drunk.
He's a
bar owner.
He's got a bar. So,
it's fine.
Like, you know, it's part of his life, but, like, he seems in control of it.
But Gordon also mentions that John Joseph's tomb has been, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Tampered with?
Sure.
Close enough.
Murder that jockey. And he'll get the rest of us too. One by bloody one.
That's it, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
The only thing that goes to murdering's my business.
You don't believe me? You go look at his tomb for yourself. It's been broken. On account of him climbing out all the time.
He's so dramatic.
Well, Olive might be in danger. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so they go to... apparently it was in a mausoleum. Is that the right word? Sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, very big deal.
So they go there, and then Olive also kind of alludes to the fact that she knows that Chuck faked her death.
Yeah.
To Emerson, and then there's like the funny thing where they're trying to get like the lid off, and Olive tries to do it herself, and she's like,
but she can't. I'm a fan of these shenanigans.
Oh, you want to do it? Okay, yeah.
I mean, that kind of, no offense, but
because she's tiny, she's petite.
So then Emerson does move the lid, and then we see in there that there is a skeleton. You ready?
Come on. 2, 3.
Oh, hello.
Sweet secretariat.
Boy, that don't look like John Joseph.
A horse with no name.
Or legs.
Oh.
But it's not a human skeleton, it's a horse skeleton.
Yeah, well, it's a horse head.
The horse head with no legs. I think the bottom of the two, just not the legs.
Yeah, mostly just saw the head.
We'll get to the legs.
Get to the legs.
You're loving. You have so many questions. And then also we see Chuck and Digby at the stables, and she's a bit freaked out.
Right.
But she's like, we're the Walking Dead on Halloween. Which, like, what do you call them? Like, they're not ghosts or zombies.
Right.
So I guess they're the Walking Dead.
They're Walking Dead.
Which is not like the show The Walking Dead.
No, very different.
Which apparently is ending soon.
Oh, thank God.
We might need to do that show eventually.
Oh, God. I've seen the first few episodes.
I've seen a few episodes.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's its own thing.
Anyway, but also I should mention at the stables and at the mausoleum they found oyster crackers.
There's crackers everywhere. Who's left oyster crackers?
Oyster crackers.
Those are I'm a cracker girl.
Which ones are oyster crackers?
They're like saltines are like saltier. I don't know how to explain oyster crackers.
Look this up.
But they're pretty good. They're like, I'm a cracker person. Like literally, I can just like knob on crackers all day, every day.
Oh, okay. There we go. Those are oyster crackers.
They're like good. They're for soups.
They're for soups. Why don't I eat these more often?
They're good.
I like to munch.
The thing is between like they're not salty really, but they're like good to munch on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sometimes you just gotta munch.
Emerson goes to get Chuck, and basically he's like, we found a horse skeleton, and Olive knows you're dead.
Yeah.
Oyster crackers.
Emerson! What are you doing here?
There's a legless skeleton of a horse in John Jacob's tomb, and Olive knows you're dead.
First of all, huh? And secondly, Olive thinks that I faked my death, which is completely different to knowing that I'm dead.
Yeah, different like purple and mauve.
I was sending pies to my aunts. I didn't know Olive was going to deliver them. This is exactly what Ned was afraid of. Now she can ruin everything.
So that's a thing.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah. And then also we decide, so basically we're like, okay, so somebody clearly took John Joseph's skeleton. So then they go to John Joseph's mom's house, and it says Mama Jacobs.
Mama Jacobs.
They go to her house, and like,
she's very passive.
First of all, like, I need to talk about her house.
It's pink.
It's pink. There's some jockeys, and like, I don't know. It comes up. I mean, like, knowing like the end result, it kind of comes off as a bit weird.
Well, I think it's funny. I was like looking at this, and I was like, the design of the show, like the whole aesthetic is like very like it knows what it is, and it just goes for it, and like so a lot of the detail, like the set design is always like really fun.
Yeah.
But this house is pink.
Yeah, and very like, I don't know, like kind of reminded me like Professor Umbridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But so we meet Mama Jacobs, and she is a passive-aggressive bitch.
She is.
Oh my God.
What did you say your name was? Brandon? Butch?
Chuck?
Oh, I knew it was something unladylike. My point was that I have made peace with Johnny's death. It wasn't easy at first, but knowing that it was an accident, and that you stayed single, and that all the rest of them are drunks, it made it a little easier.
How do you know I'm still single?
Well, you wouldn't need all that bait. Your belly were full of fish, dear.
Such a bitch.
She's one of them passive aggressive old folks who are like who have a very nice tone, but they're definitely like cutting you down with.
Well, she's kind of like she like slut shames Olive a fair amount.
Yeah, I would say.
And I love the thing. I think she's only passive. Like she's kind of only passive because like she doesn't really say anything to Emerson.
Mm-hmm.
So. But then it's like a thing of like, well, she's really the main thing is to Olive, which like fair, in a way. But then she's like to Chuck, like, what was your name again? Brandon, Butch, Chuck. I knew it was something unladylike. I feel like she should have said her name was Charlotte.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then like, but she's so like, yeah, like it was hard to get over my son's death, but to know that you're still single and all those other ones are drunk, so you wouldn't have to dress like that if you what was the line?
What was the line?
I don't even remember. Like, and your belly was full of fish or whatever. I'll put the reaction probably there. Yep. I think it was just a thing of like you wouldn't be dressing that if your belly was full. Oh, she's so mean.
She's not very nice.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
But we do learn that she has a trophy with John Joseph's ashes, and that she buried the horse.
Yeah.
Because
even though, technically wasn't allowed to, she did it herself.
She did it herself.
Yes, that one belongs to me. This is Johnny's final resting place. His ashes.
His ashes?
Then what did you bury at his funeral?
All the gold.
His horse.
You see, Johnny always wanted to give the horse that made his career a hero's burial, but the health department wasn't too keen on that, so I did it in secret.
I want you to...
And then nothing totally weird happening except for the vent closes somehow, miraculously.
Yeah, there's something going on somewhere, but that's fine. They leave the house. It's no big deal.
Yep, and then they're leaving, and they want to go check on Pinky, but before we get there, let's go back to Ned.
Yeah.
Who's having a time.
He's struggling.
Laid down where his bed used to be.
I was wondering how far was the new house from this house.
It's a good question.
20 years went by. Paint-chipped grass grew. Young Ned
Nobody bought it?
forgot, and young
No shame.
Ned grew too.
It's a nice house.
Very nice house.
So he
Yeah, why
came
don't we
back
buy
to
it?
haunt the house where good times were had, till the times they'd marched on, and with them, Dad.
Yeah, I want to see where...
He's riding that struggle bus. He's reliving that trauma.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, that's really they talk about what happened with Ned on this episode, but like, anyway. But I remember what happened. So he goes back to his house, which apparently nobody bought, even though it's a nice house.
It's abandoned, which is such a shame. But it's probably because of all the murders.
But I guess like he bought a honeycomb chew. Because like, unless he kept that one for years.
It could go either way, honestly. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he just held on to the same one.
That seems weird. And, well...
But
then he hears across the street, Lily. Mm-hmm. And, because some kids were egging their house, and she has a shotgun. Which, like... And they're still, like, giggling, and I'm like, she's got a shotgun. Yeah, she's gonna kill...
She will fire.
So then he decides to go over there.
Yeah.
And, like, I guess, like, my one thing was, I didn't know when Lily and Vivian moved into the house. Because it seems like they said, like, they knew, like, his dad, like, a fair amount. Even though, like, it didn't seem like they moved in until after Ned's father died. Not Ned's father, Chuck's father died.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, but she asked, like, he asked, like, did you know my...
They refer to it, like, as in the neighborhood, so maybe they, like,
were
still in the area.
Yeah. But, so then Ned asked, and Vivian's trying to be nice about it, saying, like, he was a nice guy. But then she also mentioned, like, he cut his lawn on, like, a very...
He edged his lawn on Saturdays.
So, like, she's trying to be nice about it, and then Lily's just like...
No. And he was a neighbor hard to remember so long ago. He was a handsome man, and he liked to edge his lawn on Saturdays.
Your father was a jackass. Everybody said how terrible it was when he moved away like that. You ask me, he did us all a favor. You included.
I don't think she's wrong. He was a jackass.
He was a jackass, which is very funny.
And that, like, it was good that he went away for, like, everybody, including you.
Right.
So then, Ned's sad. But then Vivian kind of, like, helped, like, lets him out. And, I'll get to this first. Like, when they're leading him out, basically, Ned's like, I know he was a bad guy, but what do I miss him? It's kind of like, it's fine. You miss people. And it's, like, a really nice moment.
Then why do I still miss him?
We see what we want to see. Sometimes I put pillows under the covers of Charlotte's bed, and pretend she's sleeping.
I miss her too.
Nobody remembers your father, Ned. What they do talk about is how you turned out to be such a nice, wonderful boy.
Aww.
Man, even.
It is such a nice moment.
Yeah, and like she gives him a kiss, which is fun because like not funny, but like because she hates touching people.
Right.
But then also something that Ned learns because they have pie.
Mm-hmm.
So then he takes a bite of the pie.
The pie maker stared at the ripe strawberry that had turned rotten at the touch of his tongue. It could only mean one thing. He had touched it before.
That just sucks. He can never eat his own pies.
We thought you were having them delivered. Comes every week.
I don't know how we survived without it. It's like a sex addiction.
And it, tastes like rotting fruit.
Right, because it's his pie.
It's his pie.
Mm-hmm.
So then he realizes that Chuck's been giving them pies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty chill with it.
But he makes peace with it pretty quickly. He's like, oh, okay. And then he claims ownership for it.
Yeah, he does it.
He's confused at first, but then he claims ownership of it.
Yeah, I guess he was like, yeah, luckily they didn't question why he was confused.
Right.
But, yeah, and so we know it's only that Chuck is bringing them pies and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the murder stuff. Okay, he did.
How have you been? It's important to me. I missed you.
Oh.
I missed you too. Can we get on with this, please?
So, Pinky's at his bar cleaning up, and there's a horse, and he gets murdered. Hooray.
Woo.
No, not hooray.
Oh.
But they find his body. Olive's clearly upset, and they need to examine the body.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, Olive doesn't question, like, how do they get so much information?
Yeah.
It's like, how do they get so much information, and why does a private detective need to hang out with a pie maker?
She just goes with it.
Yeah, she goes with it. I'm nitpicking, but I love this show.
Oh, yeah.
It's so great then. Yeah. So they wake up Pinky. He gets a drink, because, you're dead. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And Pinky mentions that he bet on his own races, and he was better at playing the horses, and that he gave John Joseph Jacobs' Girth the snip.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned that there was a secret that, like, clearly somebody sabotaged the thing, the Girth.
Right.
But I don't deserve it, as I'm the one who gave him the snip.
What snip?
Let's just say I played the ponies better than I rode them.
You bet on your own races.
Only the ones I fixed. You see, Olive, you tell her I'm sorry. She don't deserve what's coming to her.
There's she got coming to her.
It's pretty clear John Joseph come back because he knows how we all kept the secret.
What secret?
Make yourself comfortable. It's quite a story.
Oh. Which is what caused John Joseph Jacobs to fall and die.
Yeah.
And then nobody apparently took ownership for it.
Mm-hmm.
So then Gordon, Shoemaker, Pinky, and Olive basically took a note saying they weren't going to tell anybody what happened, that somebody sabotaged it. Although, like...
The facts were these. In the pandemonium that followed the tragedy-marred Jock-Off 2000, the four surviving jockeys, Pinky, Lucas, Gordon, and Olive, gathered in secret. One of them had deliberately cut the fallen jockey's girth. John Joseph Jacobs had been sabotaged. Accusations flew, but to protect their own honor and that of their storied profession, the heinous crime would never be revealed to anyone. Olive tried to protest,
No.
but she was overwhelmed. The oath to keep the terrible secret was taken, and the evidence destroyed.
I guess I guess it kind of makes sense because they didn't want to be blamed for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just...
I guess I kind of wanted, like, Pinky was obviously keeping it to himself, and they didn't want to get blamed for it, so they were like, all right, we're just not going to, like, I guess, like, well, they really want to notice it about the girth being snipped.
Right.
So it's kind of like, we're going to burn the evidence to think, like, he died. It was an accident. Nobody did anything bad.
No, nothing bad happened.
But now they think that's clear that somebody found out about it, and it's going to kill them all. So Olive's in trouble.
Getting revenge. Yes, Olive is in trouble.
Yep, so their plan is that Ned and Emerson are going to go get Gordon, because he's still alive, and Chuck's going to stay with Olive in the house and keep everything locked so that she doesn't...
Get murdered?
Get murdered. And Olive and Chuck kind of make up in a way.
I love in charge Ned. You really don't have to stay. I can totally take care of myself.
Are you not scared?
No. Why are you?
No. I'll make some tea.
And I'll get the booze to take the edge off.
Bourbon and a splash of chamomile.
Aunt Lily's favorite.
Hey, Olive. Thank you for respecting my secret. I'd never do this to my aunt, so I didn't have to.
I won't tell Ned. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because this episode definitely, like, goes into them a little more, because, like, there's definitely, like, that level of, it's, like, it's not competition, but there's, like, a tension between the two.
Yeah.
And, like, this one, and a lot of it's been, like, kind of unspoken, it's been, like, little here, little there, but this is the episode where we really kind of see it, like, actually, not even being addressed, but them just having kind of more interaction.
Yeah.
Really good. So I was like, yes, interact. I love it.
Hooray.
Exciting. So yeah, they kind of start to understand each other a little more in this episode.
And then they decide to make some bourbon with a bit of chamomile.
Yeah.
And then as Olive's getting the booze, she sees a horseshoe outside and realizes that was a horseshoe that she gave John Joseph Jacobs before the jock off for good luck.
Right.
So then she's like, I'm gonna confront my ghosts. And then she climbs out the window, climbs up the ladder.
She has a thing about climbing out windows, apparently.
Yep. And then she's a bit freaked out because it is John Joseph Jacobs.
It's him.
He's alive.
Somehow.
He didn't die.
John Joseph Jacobs. It's really you?
Hey. I mean...
Nice shot. Are you okay? I found this outside the window. I gave this to John Joseph Jacobs right before the jock off 2000 for good luck.
Olive?
John Joseph, I thought you were dead. You should be ashamed of yourself.
He didn't die. But, and then basically Chuck throws a mug at him and knocks him out for a bit.
Nice.
And they find out that he did die at the jock off, but then they revived him. So, okay.
He was saved.
He was saved, but basically his legs were shattered.
Yeah.
So what they did...
The facts were these. John Joseph Jacobs had indeed died on the track that fateful day. But the shock of 1,200 volts brought his heart back to life. Unfortunately, his legs would not be so lucky. Consulting with the family, the doctors turned to another racer who had fallen that day. After a 14-hour surgery, all the gold would live on below the belt of John Joseph Jacobs.
You love this so much.
I love it. I thought this was really funny.
They took the horse's legs.
Yeah.
And basically they grafted it into John Joseph Jacobs.
So he's tall now.
He's taller now.
He's tall.
And he's got horse legs. Do you have questions?
I mean, yes and no. I'm just like,
I guess
okay.
like my thinking is like the bones are different. I don't know, like I guess like a horse legs are clearly pretty strong.
Well, a horse leg is like not even the same structure as our legs, because if like horses, like if you look at their bones, they have the same like kinds of bones as us, but they're like this, and their actual leg is like this. So actually, it's like they're running on their fingers instead of running on like their full. Like, look it up. It's fascinating. I hope this isn't another situation where I'm editing this episode and realize that I said something
I'm
wrong.
editing this episode, so
okay.
I'll look up.
You might want to Google that and let me know if
I'll look up some stuff on horse legs. But like, yeah, it does seem kind of odd of like how it could work, and like the only thing is just like he got taller. Yeah, don't think about it.
Don't think about it. It's not meant to make sense.
But apparently it took him 2 years before he could walk up the basement steps, and only another 3 until his mama let him.
Yeah.
He's a bit... John Joseph Jacobs has had a life.
He's absolutely had a life.
It looks like he was stuck in the basement for 7 years.
Yeah. Not allowed to come out of the basement. Now he just stays there because he likes it.
I mean, he's clearly got some, like, I was about to say klepto, but that's not it. Like, agoraphobia?
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, he went through a traumatic experience of, like, falling off a horse and then being revived and then, like, getting his legs replaced.
Oh, well, everyone thought he was dead.
Yeah. Although I kind of wanted to think I guess he did. And then, so, but he's talking to Chuck and Olive, and they think, and, like, apparently his mom said, like, he might scare people. And I'm just like, he just grew. He's not, like, if nobody had ever met him before, you would just know that he grew a couple feet.
Right.
It's like, he's not scary looking.
No, but he was supposed to be dead.
He was supposed to be dead, but like if you just went to like a random place where nobody knew who he was,
Right.
you would just see a tall guy.
Just a random tall dude.
Yeah. So he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get out there in the world. So then they drive back to his house. We're still like, oh wait, but the killer's still out there because clearly not him. Although we do get a little bit of a vibe from him at one point because he doesn't have any oyster crackers.
Swizzle sticks, we're out of crackers.
Crackers?
Oyster crackers. I have low blood sugar. Kind of get crazy grumpy if I don't want
Oyster
to.
crackers are actually really good, I'm not
I
gonna
have
lie.
more bags downstairs.
This trophy bugs me.
Olive, there were oyster crackers in every murder scene.
Yeah, he's all about oyster crackers.
We got hyperglycemia.
Mm-hmm. You gotta eat or his blood sugar go low.
So we're concerned now that maybe
there's a relation here.
Yeah, so then then Olive gets the trophy.
Yes.
And then like spills it over.
Mm-hmm.
And we notice that like there are ashes, but it's the ashes of the saddle, which means that like he knew
that they knew about the thing that happened.
So now we're scared
because something is wrong.
So then we cut back to Emerson and Ned and Gordon in the car, and they're driving back, and Gordon's drunk.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to sing or else he'll throw up.
So keep singing, buddy.
And he mentions that Lucas, like, I got confused with the drinking thing, but apparently he got sober at one point and wanted to make amends and told Mama Jacobs and gave her the ashes.
Yep.
So the murderer...
She knows.
Yes, and she knows, and the murderer is Mama Jacobs.
I told the old bag of nails everything. Even brought her the ashes from the saddle to prove it.
Oh, no.
You killed Lucas and Pinky?
As far as anyone knows, it was the ghost of John Joseph, and it's gonna stay that way.
Surprise!
Surprise! Were you surprised?
Not really.
Okay.
I was pretty. I was like, well, it could be this person, but like the more we went on, I was like, yeah, I know, I think it's the mother.
I think I was thinking like maybe it was John Joseph Jacobs and like she knew about it, but then it was like the mother, and so she's just upset because like yes, like her son's alive, but like they killed his career.
Yeah,
and she wants revenge.
Yeah, she sounds kind of like a stage mom.
A little bit.
A little bit. Like, she's all about that.
But she's gonna murder them, and they go running through the woods, and like it's a kind of creepy woods thing, and then you remember it's the suburbs,
which is really funny.
It's really funny. So then they're running after. Yeah.
She shows up. The horse still has fire. How did the horse get the fire?
Don't think about it.
Who knows?
So they're running, and unfortunately, Olive and Chuck are running in heels. I think at least maybe I don't know. Like they clearly weren't like running shoes.
That's you gotta always wear those running shoes. You never know when someone's gonna try to chase you down and try to kill you. Always wear running shoes.
I'm not wearing shoes currently, so
I better hope nobody comes down here and tries to kill us.
I can still run in bare feet.
All right, fair enough.
My feet, I might get cuts, but
acceptable. Continue.
Okay, but because Chuck like twists her ankle a bit. And Olive's trying to help, but then it's kind of like, I can't, like, we're going to slow down. So then Olive's like, no, but she's after me, so I'm just going to run out. And she's freaking out. And then she starts, like, about to get trampled, but then Ned comes in and swoops her off her feet to save her.
Very heroically.
It was heroic. Very
charmingly.
Yes. And then Emerson hits Mama Jacobs with a shovel.
And he loves his shovel.
He loved his shovel.
That's my new OTP.
Okay.
Emerson X shovel.
Okay. And then also, and then I was just like overcome with like, oh my God, you see, like literally like the man of her dreams.
Yep.
Has just saved her life and swooped her off her feet.
The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be, ain't what she
Yay! Nice. Good use of shovel.
I love you, shovel. Are you okay?
That's the real ship.
You saved me.
Oh.
Ned?
So she kisses him.
Yep.
And
she goes in for it.
She goes in for it. And Ned just kind of like standing there like.
He's like,
Yeah, and then but
denies her.
and Emerson sees it. Chuck doesn't. We'll get to that.
Get to that.
And I remember like thinking before, I thought he like dropped Olive, but he kind of like just like places her down.
Yeah, he puts her down and
goes
to Chuck.
Oh,
that's where his priorities lie.
It's sad.
It's yeah.
It was, and then Mama Jacobs ends up in jail with all of her stuff, or a good chunk of her stuff.
She has the paraphernalia. Yeah.
Sure. Olive gives John Joseph Jacobs the trophy and the rest of the earnings, which you could probably use. Why not?
Yeah, I'm sure. Go get a life.
Yeah, do that.
Get your life.
And then Ned and Chuck go to Lily and Vivian's house, and basically he just explains that he was what is it? And like Ned kind of has like his thing about trying to let go of his past and just like trying to move on. He knows about the pies for the most part.
Right.
And it's kind of like, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then also he gives Chuck a sheet, and she's a ghost, and it's like 2 a.m, but she goes trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treat.
Is that clock right? It's 2 o'clock in the a.m.
I'll get my gun.
And I'll get the candy bowl.
Oh. Trick or treat.
Yes.
That's another thing. Like, they might be witches, but they have candy.
So, like, yeah, you just gotta earn it.
Exactly.
You just like give candy. Candy.
So,
it's worth it.
The end.
The end.
What'd you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed this episode. I was really enjoying this episode. I had a really good time. I think because it's like this show really works with kind of like the Halloween feel. So
Yeah.
the Halloween episode was exciting because it was just like the right amount of like spooky and just like but still like quirky.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I said this a lot when we watched Orphan Black, but I just like love when like characters reveal things to each other, and it feels like this episode and the next episode the characters are kind of like there's more people are being like let in, not on like the big secrets, but just like little bits of information.
Yeah.
Which I always like. Those are I like when characters are finally start to be in the know of more things. So,
Yeah.
So those are two things I really liked about this episode.
That's fun. Yeah, I really like this episode. And I keep like I just love the fact that like this show like it knows that it's like not a typical like mystery procedural, and it's just really quirky, and everybody just like we're gonna go with it, and it's fun. They had some spooky stuff. I liked the bit where Olive is first giving Emerson like the money, and it's very like shadow, kind of like noirish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. I had fun with that.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some, if there's any trivia. Pinky McCoy can be, for Goops, Pinky McCoy can be seen breathing just before Ned touches him. Olive, Chuck, Emerson, and Mama Jacobs are at Mama Jacobs' house, and they say they need to check on Pinky. Presumably they go right over there to check on Pinky, yet somehow the killer beats them there. I guess my thinking was like, maybe she killed him before?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Who knows? Culture references when Olive sees the corpse of John Joseph Jacobs' horse in the grave, she says, "A horse with no name." This is a reference to the 1972 song made famous by the band America?
Round through the desert on a horse with no name. Because that's funny because I thought of the song too.
Olive and Chuck argue over the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel about two children who get lost on a trail, find a house made of candy, and almost get cooked by a witch. Okay. I've heard one where they eat the witch.
That's a darker version of that. That's would a witch even taste good? It's all skin.
It's
no
meat.
Muscle. Yeah, but like all
Listen, we'll learn
skin, no muscle.
Eventually, when we watch the next Brian Fuller show that we're going to watch, we'll learn if people taste good.
Interesting.
Yes. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, quick break.
I might pour some more drinks because I'm thirsty.
Drinks.
We're going to, not alcohol, besides the fact that we have red Solo cups. We red Solo cups, but we're not drinking alcohol. And we're going to talk about season 1, episode 6, Bitches.
Bitches.
His goat killed you.
Gulp.
Gulp. It's gulp. Ooh. That's kind of my thinking. I know like some people do special stuff for anniversaries, but like, meh.
Yeah, maybe for like our 5-year, we'll do something special.
Well, we'll do like a party, 12-hour movie streaming thing.
Well, that would actually be a lot of fun.
Also, but we need to pick something for our 100th episode. Guys, leave a comment. Something to do for the 100th episode, which I don't even know how far we are from that.
I don't know. I was just gonna say I have stopped calculating, and I don't know how long that is.
I think we were on like 60 after Orphan Black.